is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
This season marks a new beginning. New heights will be reached. New records will be broken. A new champion will be crowned. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Thanks to the wonders of helium, we float amongst the Midwestern billows, looking down at Kansas Speedway, the host venue for today's event. Presented by First Medical Equipment, it's time for the GSRC Big Joe Show Spectacular, round 21 on the Lionheart IndyCar Series Season 6 championship schedule, and all the simulated Dallara IR18 action from green flags to victory donuts can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing channel via the iRacing Esports Network. To everyone watching on IESN, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Countdown to Green presented by the Sim Pit. As cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Big Joe Show Spectacular that follows immediately as we count down to green. I'm Bill Soupzon, sharing the microphone with former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn. Amjad Yaman has director duties armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Well, it has become a Lionheart tradition. This is the 4th annual GSRC Big Joe Show Spectacular. Every year, Lionheart regular Big Joe Hassard sponsors an event, and we'd like to thank Big Joe for including this broadcast company in the event title. This year, Kansas Speedway is the venue of choice by Big Joe for his spectacular. Richie, tell us a little bit about today's racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Soup. And folks, before I talk about the track, let me remind you that everything during the Countdown to Green comes courtesy of its sponsor, the Sim Pit. The Sim Pit's an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing, hardware, and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional video and the how-tos that will help you perform on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And speaking of virtual tracks, let's talk about today's venue. Today we're at Kansas Motor Speedway, located in Kansas City, Kansas, right across the border from Missouri. It's a 1.5 mile tri-oval, basically a copycat of Chicago Speedway. It was built in 2001. IndyCar raced here until 2011. We have 17 to 20 degrees banking in the turns and 5 to 11 on the straights. This track is very racy. We should see a lot of 2 wide and possibly 3 wide pack action. Hopefully we'll get some long green flag runs here to see some green flag pit stops. But probably the best way to get a look at this is let's jump on board that GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Kansas Speedway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. Without further ado, here we go. For your money lamp, bring it right down here to the apron off of turn 4, kind of cut that straight up. There's a sign on the wall there that you're going to kind of want to start to turn off depending on the setup, you might be able to turn in a little earlier, but you're really going to want to keep those left sides planted on the white line, as you're going to see down here into turn 3. Same situation. Drive it in. This car doesn't like to be pinched off, really, but for the money lap, you can kind of pinch it there, bring it right along the apron, bring those tires along that on that paved off area. Now, with Kansas being the way it's constructed here on iRacing, you can run almost anywhere in these cars. It's going to be a heck of a show. So you can kind of run the middle seam right there. Try to get a good run. Try and get away from the other guys. Get yourself some clean air. But then turns 3 and 4, you could be right up here, a couple inches away from the wall. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, and it's guaranteed to put on a great show. Off of turn 4, down the front stretch, and across the line. And that's going to complete our guide here around Kansas Speedway. I'm Brian Yazik. Enjoy the show.
Does not take long to get around Kansas, about 25 seconds if you're at the back of the grid. It's not going to take long for me to get through these points either, as things have really started to settle down as we close in on the end of Season 6. Well, there you have it. It's the same guys we always see. With 4 races left, 3 of them are on ovals. That should help Andrew have a catch Kinsella in second, with the final oval being a double points event. The question is, can Dandy Dan Guerin close the gap of 102 points to make it a 3-horse race comes that finale? And we'd like to also, how about we talk about Taylor Graff? We like the way he races here on GSRC. His consistency is rewarded as he makes the appearance on the overlay up 2 spots into 15th. All this going on behind Adam Blocker, who controls the lead. Let's go down and look at the team championship now. And of course, this is presented by HPP Simulations. 8-Ball outscored Dragonfly 83-64 last time out. Justin Weaver and Michael Goodman was 6th and 8th, respectively. All the action is going to include those 2 teams plus Loud Pedal Motorsports, as the battle is going to be to see who ends up in that top 5 position. Adrenaline won the day. Adam Blocker, Adam Kinsella went 1-2, and Chris Stouffer chipped in points from 18th. All right, now maybe the most exciting championship Richie gets to talk about, and that's the rookies.
Yeah, the rookie championship has definitely been heating up lately, and this is presented by Butt Kicker. We got Justin Weaver leading the way with Stefan Larkamp, just 15 points behind him. Samuel Ryman is sitting in third, but he's a healthy 152 points behind, so that real battle is for those first 2 spots. Justin Weaver was 6th last time out, with Stephen Larkamp 7th, so those guys raced close together all the time. But the ovals do benefit Justin Weaver, so we'll see if he can increase that lead here on this Kansas Motor Speedway. We do have a couple of movers here. We got just Johnson up to 5th, plus 1 position. And also Harrington. Connor Harrington's making a move. He's been moved up to 2 spots to the 12th position.
Yeah, Harrington, making a late appearance in the series, has been doing really well. Has not got the results that really would depict how fast he is on the track. Hey, considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the IR18 on the iRacing service, the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And I think we are about to hear about another Dan, not Weldon, but Bernoulli. Because once again, viewers, we segue from someone we hold in great esteem to someone we hold with great reservation. His Bunsen burners are burning, his test tubes are tubing. That's right, fans. Once again, it's time for Professor Lugnut's setup corner. And here he is, clad in his white lab coat. Professor, what's the topic for today?
Soup, Bernoulli deduced that pressure decreases when the flow speed increases. Well, hang on, let me step away from the burner. What does all that mean? Well, we're talking about wings and wickers tonight. The Bernoulli principle to generate downforce from the wings and the inner tray of this car, the IR18, it's in play here. There are really 2 separate wing adjustments that can impact how this car drives and how the downforce is created. The most apparent way to increase or decrease that downforce is by actually changing the angle of the wing. Increasing or decreasing the wing angle generates more or less downforce for that portion of the car. Well, how does that really play into a fixed setup series like the Lionheart IndyCar Series is? Well, okay, so that fixed setup can be the difference between being able to pass or having to go single file around a track, especially around a track like this here at Kansas. But the trailing edge of the wing, there's also that wicker, what they call the wicker bill there. They're allowed to run those small little metal strips. They range anywhere from 3/8 of an inch up to 1 inch on some tracks. And those wickers, what they do is they stick up in the air and they create a lot of downforce, but that also creates what we call drag, and that slows the car down. So finding that balance, that balancing act that the Lionheart IndyCar Series, very important every week. And very important is that wing and wicker. And Soup, it's all about the wing and the wicker here at Kansas Speedway. Hopefully the Lionheart IndyCar Series got it right, and everybody will be fast and competitive all night long.
Wing and the Wicker, I think that was a Harry Potter movie. I like that one. Okay, get back up to mixing up your cocktail there you were doing. Thank you, Professor. We'll hear from you again next week. Now, hey, if you don't know about Daniel Bernoulli, a great scientist and also played a mean jazz mandolin as well. Something probably a little more on topic. Let's go ahead and let Richie talk about the race details.
Yeah, and these series details come to us thanks to the Sim Pit. And here we are, series details. We're in season 6 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. We're in round 21 of 24, coming to the end of it. Each driver gets 3 drops, and we are using the new Dallara IR18. The setups are adjusted, but they are fixed. We're also working on always a cash and prize total of $6,402.
And there you go. Well, that takes care of all the business in the booth. Now we can take a look at the business going on the track as qualifying is just getting underway. James Krahula, well, he's the tentative leader on the pole. Not sure if that's going to hold up. There's Peter Edwins sitting in 6th right now.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to get around this track here. So we're looking at 24 seconds roughly, 24 and a half, 25. And, I don't think qualifying is going to be that important, although you don't want to qualify right in the middle of the pack and get caught up in somebody's mess. But it's going to be kind of playing the long game here tonight.
Richie, you raced here in real life, did you not?
Yeah, I raced here a few times here, a couple years. Pretty easy track to get around, not too difficult. You got a good setup, you can get around it. The real difficulty is just kind of racing in those packs because you can never get away from anybody. So those close quarters racing is sometimes going to get a little dangerous, but it's always a good place to run. Great city too.
Hopefully things will settle down quickly and we'll get in some nice green flag runs that I think we will here today. Brian Yosick and his familiar HPP machine looking to put in a time. Dan Guerin has taken over the pole.
Yeah, right now it looks like we have Dan Guerin on the top spot with Ron Hacker second. A lot of people left to qualify, and actually I'm wrong. Not too many people left to qualify, but some of the heavy hitters haven't put times in yet, like Adam Blocker and Connor Harrington, who's been really fast on the ovals, but like you said, kind of got caught out a couple times with situations to not get the finish that he'd like.
Yeah, we're looking at Connor. Always quick. We'll see how he does today. Looking at how our point leaders are doing, Andrew Kinsella sits in 14th, and as Richie said, Adam Blocker yet to put in a time.
Yeah, he's kind of waiting until the last minute here. We do have a few minutes, less than a minute left. It only takes about 30 seconds to get around.
A veteran of this series and also wants to give the broadcast a little bit of drama as we wait to see who sits on the pole.
Yeah,
30 drivers have put in time, 6 have not.
I was going to say, you can see how close the times are. As pole right now is Dan Guerin at 24.977. Second is a 9.87. Third is Brandon Limkeman at 9.88. So just a thousandth of a second there. So very, very close here. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be that important. You just don't want to be caught up in somebody's mess.
And I have a hunch that Blocker's not going to go on out and take a lap after all, unless there's some type of penalty that I didn't know about. But I think we're just about done. It's about time to go racing. And when it is time to go racing, Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations, designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com. Let's go to your HPP starting grid right now. Let's take it a row at a time. Dan Guerin and Ron Hacker make up the front row. Richie?
Yeah, third place is going to be Brandon Limpkeman and Connor Harrington starting fourth.
Mike Goodman and Tyler Graff populate row 3.
Row 4 will be Pierre Daigle and Dustin Wardlow.
9th and 10th is James Grahula and James Galvin.
Starting in 11th will be Chris Stouffer. Next to him will be Joe Branch.
In the Baker's dozen spot, George Ansaldo inside of Stefan Larkamp.
Row 8 is going to be Andrew Kinsella and Brian Yazik.
Big Joe Show. Big Joe Hazard back at 17th. He's inside of the Van Housen's meat machine of Bob Mikas.
Row 10 is going to consist of Paul Jenkins and Ed Tutwiler.
Hidden Blackjack, it's GSRC's own Samuel Ryman, flanked by Matthew Mercer.
Yep. Next up will be Robert Bluen, and Jack Bogan.
Peter Edwins and Scott Bolster make up the next row.
Row 14 will be Chris Lanini and Justin Weaver.
Tony Showen is going to be inside of Bart Workman.
Next up will be Adam Blocker, who didn't put in a time for some reason, and Mark Cohen in 32nd.
Scott Johnson and Isaiah Cousin Dupree back in 34th.
And on the final row, row 18 will be Dylan McKenna, Brian Greenlee.
That takes care of it. 36 names on the entry list, 30 put in qualifying times. Again, we're not sure what's up with Adam Blocker. You see the cars lined up on pit lane.
Yep. And a couple of noted things is, like you said, our points leader, Adam Blocker, not putting in time. But also our rookie standings position, Stephen Larkamp, starting in 14th. But Justin Weaver not doing so good in qualifying, starting all the way back in 28th. But so that be something to watch.
36 drivers here today. 3 of them are carrying onboard cameras. We'll start by looking at the number 73, Brandon Limpkeman, in the first medical equipment onboard camera car. Then the number 17 of Bob Mikas, and of course he's in the Von Hansen's meat machine. And then finally the sponsor of our race in the number 11, Big Joe Hazard, in the Big Joe Show onboard camera car. We wish Joe good luck today. Thank him for sponsoring, and once again, thank him for including GSRC in the title of this race.
I did notice that Adam Blocker had just connected here, so he must have been having some sort of technical difficulties to keep him from doing that qualifying lap, so he's got a little bit of work to do.
The lights are off the pace car. I believe it is just one lap around, and we'll have lovely Medina Mendez dive that car into pit lane. Gather up the chicken steak, cover me on the cows, because the horses are out of the barn for round 21 of season 6. And it's Dandy Dan Guerin leading the Stampede down in the first corner. How about Ron Hacker in second? Brandon Limpkeman, Connor Harrington, and Michael Goodman make up your top 5.
Yeah, we already see Dan Guerin's been really good on these ovals lately. He's just hugging the bottom line. These guys are just getting up to speed here. It takes about a lap or two. But Ron Hacker trying to lead that pack up on the outside lane. We got Brandon Limpkeman right there behind Dan Guerin. I think we're going to see a little bit of this going on for a while until we wear those tires out after about 10 laps.
Adam Blocker, your points leader, started from pit lane and is a lap down. Plenty of time to catch up. No lucky dog here, though, in the Lionheart Series. They come across leading lap number 2. It's still Dandy Dan Guerin. There is a fight moving on the inside now, taking over third position. Let's go ahead and give that to, that would be, let's see if I can figure out, that's Connor Harrington working on the inside.
Yeah, and Blocker, the only way he's going to get that lap back is by race his way through the front, get in front of the leader, and look for a yellow flag. So he's got a long night ahead of him. So kind of keep an eye on Andrew Kinsella and how he does. But yeah, we got a battle for the front here as Dan Guerin's just not giving up that white line, but we're going trying to look for 3 wide, maybe into turn 1.
We'll get an idea of where the racing line is right away, see how that plays out.
Yeah, you want to run that bottom line as long as you can, and Dan has done that in other previous events. But I think the tires do wear out after about 10 laps or so, and it makes it tough to hold that down. You can start scrubbing speed, so we'll see how that goes. Looks like he's trying to take up 2 lanes at once as we go around, but they're starting to stack up behind him in 2 lanes.
That's Hacker on the inside, Limpkeman on the outside there. And now we have a new leader. He got to the bottom. Ron Hacker, I think he's going to have enough momentum to go ahead and get credit for leading lap number 5. And he does.
Yeah, and Dan kind of wandered up, and Ron Hacker took the advantage there, took it. Dan Guerin's going up high again, leaving the bottom open for Brandon Limpkeman. And so, Dan's just kind of maybe taking it easy. We've got a long race to go. 133 laps, so no reason to rush it.
The entire field is still connected all the way back to 33rd position with Brian Greenlee. They are all within touch of the car ahead of them.
Right now we got Andrew Kinsella. He's moved up from 15th to 11th position. He's looking to take advantage of whatever technical issues Adam Blocker has, so we're kind of keep an eye on him, as well as Stephen Larkamp running in the spot he started, trying to take advantage of what the problems Justin Weaver had in qualifying.
There are 3 drop races in the series, so even if Blocker has a horrible event, it's not going to be too costly. As I believe we have a new leader now, as Brandon Limpkeman has nosed his way up into the lead.
Yeah, same type of pass. Ron Hacker kind of washed up a little bit, and Brandon took the inside line and took that spot. And then we also have Connor Harrington taking the outside, got real close to the wall there. Jason Galvin's now looking to take the lead.
All the way up from 10th position, fighting for second spot, the Bakerfield boy. Running in that beautiful blue car there.
Everybody's running pretty clean here, so that's nice to see. Nice 2-wide action, nobody doing anything crazy. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully we'll see some green flag pit stops later on.
Well, as they start to go single file, if the drivers will behave, we'll go ahead and bring up our race analysis real quick and show you that how far we're actually racing and what our window is. You see, we're going 133 laps now. The max window, they're saying it is 37 laps. You can always add 1 or 2 on there, but even if you get to 40 laps, we're not going to be able to do this on less than 3 stops.
Got another leader here. Brandon Limpkeman took the lead back from Jason Galvin, and we got Ron Hacker running in second with Jason Galvin looking to the inside. You can see these guys are starting to stack up on the outside, and I have a feeling that the outside lane is going to be the one you want as those tires wear out, and trying to scrubbing as least the speed as possible.
The car to keep an eye on is the one in 3rd place, that Beard of Zeus blue machine of Jason Galvin down on the bottom, car number 42. He seems to be hooked up early, and as I say that, the green car of Dandy Dan Guerin goes around the top.
Yeah, he's tucked right on the back of Ron Hacker, just kind of saving some fuel maybe. Yeah, that might be part of their strategy, is not leading, just to be able to lift a little bit. Like to bring up again, Andrew Kinsella is now up to the 9th spot. I've been watching him back there. He's just kind of running that high line. Brandon Limpkeman still leads. Nothing too dramatic going on. Like I said, I think these guys are taking it easy, maybe saving a little bit of fuel, and just kind of not getting too crazy on us. I think we'll get a little bit more involved as we get about 20 laps in, maybe 25, get closer to that fuel stop window.
We always like to check in on the rookie race. Usually they find themselves racing close together. Right now, Stefan Larkamp is in 15th position. Looking on ahead of him is Big Joe Hassard and Brian Yasek. His main rival, which would be Justin Weaver.
Yeah,
He's way back there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not doing so well. Started 28th and running 30th. On my screen, it looks like he's got a little front wing damage, but on your screen right there, you don't see anything. So I don't know if that's just me. But yeah, he's not doing much going on. I don't know if he's just taking it easy, just kind of let it play out.
Let's focus in on about 10th position here, whereabouts so here. Andrew Kinsella and Goodman racing side by side. On the low side, then it's Branch inside of Tyler Graff. That citrus-flavored car of Pierre Nightingale back there in 12th looking on.
Yeah, Andrew
Yoss,
kind of went to the
go ahead.
low line. I was just saying, Andrew went to the low line. Michael Goodman went right around him, and then Andrew moved right back up to the high side. So I think running that high line is just definitely the way to go as your tires wear out and keep that momentum up. And not much going on, just kind of everybody playing nice, which is good to see.
We're riding on board with the Big Joe Show onboard camera. Brandon Limpkeman is our leader. Ron Hacker, Guerin, Harrington, and Galvin, your top 5.
Yeah,
Those
Brandon,
top 5 beginning maybe to distance themselves a little bit. Probably not.
Dan Guerin makes a move to the bottom of Ron Hacker and got tired of running in that third position, but ends up washing up wide in turn 2. But looks like everybody's kind of getting nose to tail, single file, not much too wide racing going on at the moment.
Well, we talked about the front 5. We talked about the rookies. Let's talk about the back half of the top 10, starting the 6th position. There's Dustin Weaver. Dustin Wardlow in the Dewars Candy Machine. Actually, no, he doesn't race that. I got to learn that. He only races that. Oh, and he's in the wall.
Yeah, he got on the wall just as you were talking about him, kind of washed up high, and now, a couple guys had to get on the brakes to avoid him, but no damage done, just lost a lot of momentum.
We'll take a look at this one. He's not in the Dewars Candy car, and this one is certainly not very sweet. He was in 6th position. You can see the 5 leaders up in front.
Yeah, just gets a little bit of aero wash and boom, into the wall. And he is fading fast. He's coming into the pits right now, so he's got more damage than it's showing. So he might have some damage with the steering, but he's coming right into the pit lane.
If he can get the car repaired, he might be able to salvage this. This actually might be in the window to go the distance on the fewest amount of pit stops from here. We'll see how it plays out.
Yep, there he is, going into the pit lane. Back to the leaders here. We got a little bit of a battle with Dan Guerin deciding to try to take a challenge to Brandon Limpkeman, and doesn't quite get it done. And once again, everybody's kind of single file. We got Connor Harrington right behind Chris Stouffer, and Connor Harrington's been super fast on the ovals this year, so it's not surprising to see him up there in 4th position. Chris Stouffer is a big mover, though. He started 11th all the way up to 3rd spot.
So let's try this once again as Wardlow put the car in the wall, kind of messed up my back half of the top 10. Let's start with 6th position, Ron Hacker. Right behind him, Andrew Havakech Kinsella, looking to score points as he sits 2nd in the points, right now racing in 7th. Michael Goodman, back in 8th. Got a little bit of a gap. Back to Tyler Graff. There he is. We love the way Tyler races here. Very steady driver. Always gets the car home. Running at your top 10, the sponsor, Big Joe.
Yeah, Big Joe making some moves too. He started 17th all the way up to 10th position. I did notice that Dustin Wardlow is just coming out of the pits now, so he had a lengthy pit stop. He's he's stopping. He's pulling out of the pit lane. He's stopping. He exited, so he's done.
He can sprinkle dew on the sunrise, but he's not going to be able to drive that car. The Candyman is out. Our first retiree.
Yeah, we got a 3-wide battle here for the lead as Brandon's starting to get some pressure from Dan on the outside, but also getting some pressure from Chris Stouffer on the inside. So Chris Stouffer and Dan Guerin looking to team up on the outside here, but nothing's happening at the moment, but it's starting to heat up at the front.
Limpkeman has been out in front for quite a while. That may end soon. Guerin's got a run. Limpkeman moves down to the inside. Let's see if Dandy Dan wants to force the issue. Early days yet, only lap 28.
Lap 28, but they're going fast.
And my goodness, we are getting very close. Knock on this Formica here. To green flag stops.
Formica's wood, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Once again, Dan Guerin looking to the outside and seeing if he can make that pass. And, you know, knowing Dan, he's going to be up front unless something happens. So he's probably just looking to see how he's going to be able to make those passes work at the end. But Chris Stouffer's having none of that as he tucks in behind Brandon and kind of pushes Dan Guerin up wide. These guys are racing hard up front. Kind of, oh, there goes Dan. Dan's getting the momentum right around the outside.
Guerin might be thinking it's getting close to pit stop time. I think we have problems. No? Big Joe Hassard has disappeared. Our sponsor has left the building. Now he's back. Scared me a little bit there. He's back in 9th position.
Yeah, Groff is trying to make a late pit stop there.
Yeah, this is why I was thinking Dan Guerin making his move to the front. We are getting very close to the pit window, and I think it doesn't really matter if you're first, second, or third until it's time to pit. These guys always want to be first down pit lane.
Yeah, Tyler Groff made a late move to the pit stop. He's locked up trying to, hopefully he got within that pit speed limit. We'll see when he comes out if he gets a penalty or not. But Dan Guerin is now up in the lead.
We have two pairs of trios up in front. The Guerin, Stouffer, Linkemann trio. Then it's about another half second back, and I think these guys are still in the hunt here. Harrington, Galvin, and Kinsella.
Yeah, a couple things to point out for the championship chase, though. Andrew Kinsella all the way up to 6th spot, while Adam Blocker is still a lap down, so that's a big swing in points. Stephen Larkamp, 2nd place in the rookie standings, up to 12. But Justin Weaver's not been able to make much moves all the way back in 24th, so it's something to keep an eye on. Also, we have Dan Guerin, who is looking to move up to make it a 3-3 battle for the championship, leading. He's second, but we got Pierre Daigle into the pit moment.
Nightingale coming in. Right behind him, that is Peter Edwards. Edwards takes out the cone. I don't know if that's going to cost him a penalty.
It'll be interesting to see how long the leaders really do stay out, as they've been running obviously flat out from the beginning, and that will kind of give us some numbers to see how far they can really go when we get to the end.
I'd like to point out that Adam Blocker, even though he's a lap down, he's put himself now, about 19th on the track. Still plenty of time for him to get through and get his lap back the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, he's going to need some help. We do have some other takers going into the pit lane here.
Brandon Limkeman in. Harrington also. Nope, this is Limkeman only. And Ron Hacker.
So we're right around that pit window here, working lap 36. Be interested to see what happens with Chris Stouffer and Dan Guerin. We also got Connor Harrington, Andrew Kinsella. Andrew's. Yep.
The green car's coming in.
I was going to say, Andrew's always able to kind of stick it out for one more lap, and that really plays dividends at the end. So I think he's kind of the measuring point to see how far we can really go.
Stouffer and Harrington stay out.
Looks like Brian Yazik is in as well. Oh, here comes Chris Stouffer. Also Connor Harrington. Andrew Kinsella stays out for one more lap. So
because that's what Kinsella does. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, he does a really good job with that. Just kind of squeezing out one more lap. And that, like I say, it pays dividend at the end. It opens up his opportunities.
Kinsella, Goodman, Brandt, Showen, and Weaver. Those 5 have yet to come in. Here comes Havakach.
Yeah, Havakach's coming in, bringing in with him Michael Goodman. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes out relative to Dan Guerin.
Big Joe Hassard just coming out on the track right now. Chris Stouffer is going to be the leader, I think, of all the legitimate pit stoppers. It'll be interesting to see how Stouffer fares in relationship to Kinsella.
Right now, Dan Guerin is in turn 3 and 4.
Stouffer coming across the start-finish line right now.
And they just kind of swallowed up Andrew Kinsella, so takes a while to get up to speed, but that didn't work out for Andrew, as now he's lost a lot of track position. I don't know if he had a slow pit stop or not, but he was a little closer to Chris Stouffer than he is right now.
Galvin went around him. And that other blue car, that's Brian Yazek. He cycles out in 10th. Samuel Ryman, Mark Cohn, the last two drivers to come in. They are in pit lane right now.
Justin Weaver just coming out of the pits. And I just noticed that Adam Blocker has manually exited the car, so his race is done. He's obviously having some problems, so this will be a drop week for him.
Let's go to Chris Stouffer. You're looking at right there, the citrus-flavored car. I believe it's green. That's Dandy Dan Guerin on the top side. This is going to be a pass for the lead here. Oh, poking his nose in, Connor Harrington. Hello.
Yeah, Connor went to go around the outside of Dan, and Dan went on and had nothing with him to it. Kind of blocked him out. And so we're kind of back to where we started. Chris Stouffer in the lead. Dan Guerin second. Connor Harrington third. Andrew Kinsella, I don't know if he had a slow pit stop, but he did lose some healthy track position, so he's all the way back in 7th position at the moment.
How about fan favorite Tyler Graff? He made that early stop. Maybe made up a little time on tires, maybe. I don't know. Out there early, faster. He's now in 4th.
Yeah, he's moved up from 6th to 4th, but the only thing is he pitted so early that he's going to be limited to where he needs to stop next time. This race is going pretty clean. I don't want to jinx it, but we haven't had too many close incidents, so it's going pretty good right now.
Absolutely it is.
We got a 3-wide battle for the lead, a 3-car battle, I should say. Chris Stouffer taking it back from Dan Guerin. Connor Harrington hanging out 3rd. Tyler Graff trying to pick up that draft to make it a 4-car battle here.
The real loser in that pit stop cycle was Brandon Limpkeman, now back in 11th. Remember, he was up playing with the big boys. He was in that 3-car train up front that included Guerin, and I can't remember who else was up there, but it was Limpkeman as well.
Yeah,
and now he is back to 11th.
Yeah, so he had a slow stop. You know, you just got to remember, you're traveling 220 miles an hour, which they're doing consistently here. You know, every second you lose in the pits, it's 100 yards on the track. So it doesn't take much to lose that track position.
We've been green from the start.
So those guys came in, around lap 37, roughly 38?
Yep. Let me just follow up on the point. It was indeed Limpkeman, Guerin, and Stouffer. Well, Stouffer and Guerin are still up there, but Limpkeman has been replaced in that 3-car lead train by Connor Harrington.
And we got a definite breakaway here. Chris Stouffer, Guerin, and Harrington. We got Tyler Graff running in 4th, but he's all alone. He can't quite pick up that draft. Then we got Brian Yazek, who's done a great job.
Graff 0.8 of a second behind the current 3rd place driver of Harrington. Just
Ryan,
smelling the draft.
I was going to say on our screen right now, you can see that battle now with Brian Yazek for 5th. So we got 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. All and 12th all together, so this is a healthy battle here for that 5th position. If these guys can work together a little bit, not battle, they could be able to kind of close that gap, at least up to Tyler Graff.
Blue car underneath that fluorescent blue machine. If you're a fan of the Lionheart Series, you know that is Brian Yazek in his familiar HPP colors. He's getting freight trained around the top side. Galvin, Kinsella, Goodman.
Yeah, the top 3 guys are switching spots, but that real battle is what we had on screen just a minute ago with Yazek and Kinsella. Kinsella now ahead of Michael Goodman. Yazek back down to 8th position.
guys continue to fight. Our hard charger in 18th position, Isaiah Dupree. Well, let me call him. He's our biggest sandbagger, is Isaiah. Cousin Dupree didn't put in a qualifying time. Nevertheless, he is fast.
Yeah, he's
That gray car in front of him, that white and black car, that is the Von Hansen's meat machine of Bob Mikas.
Bob Mikas got the best paint job on his helmet over anybody. But yeah, 33rd to 15th, great move from Isaiah Dupree. Right behind him, though, Tony Schoen, he did put a lap time in, so he's 29th to 16th. So he's doing a good job as well. Although you can't ignore what Christopher's done. He's started 11th. Now he's been leading that race for a while now. Got himself up to that lead pack of 3.
Richie, I was multitasking, but I believe I heard you mention that Adam Blocker has retired. Indeed, we'll just say it one more time. Our port leader going to have to take a drop race today.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, you know, it sounds like not a big deal, but when you get this late in the season, those drop races do become a big deal, depending on how you finished earlier. And this is going to be a big move for not only Andrew Kinsella, who's running 5th, but Dan Guerin, who's not that far behind in 3rd place in the points. You know, he can make up some good points on this as he's leading the race. Well, he's now 2nd, but he's running in that top group.
Those guys are dancing up in front, and Connor Harrington took my breath away there a little bit. I had a little bit of a lump in my throat as I thought he was going to try to make it 3 wide. Sometimes watching Connor Harrington race is kind of like watching a drunk chasing a balloon by a cliff. You're just worried something bad's going to happen. He's doing okay right now. Right on board with Connor.
Yeah, he's just kind of sitting back there in 3rd. He's kind of watching that battle between Dan Guerin and Christopher. They got pretty close just a second ago going into turn 1, and then Christopher almost clipped the wall out of 2. But here comes Christopher diving on the inside of Dan Guerin. So these guys are having some fun. They've separated themselves out healthily from Tyler Groff. Tyler's done a good job, but he is definitely about 7 laps earlier on his pit stop. So, you know, he needs a yellow, or he's just going to have to hope it works out in the end. But he's starting to get swallowed up by the pack behind him as Andrew Kinsella is leading that pack. And they're closing the gap up to Tyler pretty quickly.
Yeah, Guerin and Stoper had the choreography down. Tyler tries he might to hang on to the back of Harrington. That's not going to happen. He's following almost 3 seconds back. And like Richie said, the next group is a-coming, led by Havacatch. Up into 5th and coming with a head of steam.
Yeah, right now Tyler's probably hoping that they do catch him, and he needs to start saving some fuel. He kind of put himself in a little bit of a hole pitting that early. Like I say, about 7 laps earlier from the leaders. And we'll just kind of see how it plays out. But Andrew has made his way up. He was closer to leaders than this earlier, so he must have had a little bit of a slow stop. But he's looking to go to the outside of Tyler Graff fairly soon. And with this race not having a yellow yet, man, it's speeding along. We're already working lap 60, lap 59, almost a lap 60 of 133. So, you know, this is good to see. So, going to come down to pure strategy here.
We talked about Isaiah Cousin Dupree winning the Sandbagger Award. Let's talk about the real hard charger, 16th position, Tony Schoen. Put in a time, qualified in 29th. His qualifying time was incredibly slow, 25.8. But I don't care, it's a time, so you get the hardware, baby. Started in 29th, up 13 spots to 16th, all by himself. But he's looking up ahead of that battle up there. Dupree, Mikas, they've sorted themselves out.
So what do you give Ron Hacker? So I don't know what happened to him. He started 2nd, but he's all the way back in 17th position.
Well, I have a name for it, but it's just too cruel, so we're not going to say it because I like Ron Hacker.
Yeah, we didn't really catch any real problems that he had, so I don't know if he had a big problem in the pit stops, but yeah, he dropped out quite a bit. So up to 16th spot now in second. Once again, a yellow flag will bring that up. Oh, Tyler Graff is in the pit lane,
Well,
pitting once again about 7 laps earlier. So we'll see if this hurts him or helps him.
helped him last time. And maybe he'll come in, get those fresh tires, maybe a little faster here. You get that track position and you catch the yellow right. The problem is pitting early. It puts him at risk of something bad happening right now, and he's going to get caught out. Oh my goodness, this battle up front. Are they racing? Are they dancing? I don't know, but right now it's Stouffer in front of Garrett.
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of playing the game of just leapfrogging each other, and it's working because, they're just kind of steadily pulling away from the pack behind them. Connor Harrington's just sitting back there saving fuel. But these guys have been doing it fairly consistently, so I think they're just working together at the moment.
Big Joe show. Joe Hassard is in. We're getting close to that time. We're at 65.
Oh, someone's losing it going to the pit.
Not sure who that was that lost it in pit lane. Oh, Ed King Tutwiler. But he gets it to the box.
Yeah, it gets to the box. Hopefully he slowed down enough and he didn't hit anything. But yeah, it's tricky coming off when you're running these speeds and trying to get slowed down. I mean, once again, 1 second is 100 yards. So you don't want to give up anything just on the slow down period.
Talking about Tutwiler, maybe not the fastest driver, but he always races a fun car and always has a nice paint scheme on his car. Today, something called Vision 3. I guess that's a little better than double vision.
We'll keep an eye on these leaders here. Christopher, Dan Guerin, Connor Harrington still out front. Andrew Kinsella brought himself back up to 4th. And he did pit later than everybody, so I don't know if that hurt him or not. He separated himself from that pack. He does have Mark Cohen behind him, who is basically a lap down, kind of tagging along. And working lap 69 of 133, so I don't do math here. So what's 37 and 37? What's that, 74? So we're about 5 laps out. So we're about 5 laps out from these leaders pitting. So it'll be interesting to see if Andrew will take that extra lap or not. It didn't seem to help him last time. So see if he pits when these guys pit.
Fun car to watch is Tyler Groff right now in 27th. Checking my timing and scoring to see if he's the leader of the cars that pitted twice. No, that would be Jason Galvin. So these guys are all right about here, though. Galvin in 24th. Daigle in 25th. He's a 2-stopper. Groff in 26th. What my dad used to call the early peel, late reveal. They peel off early, you forget about them. Our leader coming in. Let's go ahead and look at our Dandy Dan Guerin profile. And we got some stuff to talk about here today, as there is lots of information about Dan Guerin. How about this? He's raced in 101 starts. That's 4th all-time. 23 poles. That's 2nd all-time. Wins 9. That's 3rd all-time. How about this? He's led the most lap of any league member. 1,708. Top 540s. That's 2nd all-time. Top 10, 61. 1st all-time. His first race was back in Michigan, back in season 2. Woo, there's some information about Dandy Dan Guerin. He's looking to improve on those stats as he's in and out.
Yeah, and he pitted about 2 laps early. We got Christopher coming into the pits right now. But Connor Harrington and Andrew Kinsella are continuing on. but it's starting to get mixed up a little bit up front as these guys are starting to change up their pit stop strategy.
Looking here, I think Stouffer has made his stop as well.
Yeah, he's in the box right now. Stouffer's still sitting in his box, getting fueled up, dropped the car.
Let's pick up Garand right now, going into 3, and we'll see how that plays out. There's Harrington coming in as well. Garand out of 4. How is Stouffer doing?
Michael Goodman is now the leader. He stays out.
Looking for some. Stouffer's out on the track. Stouffer comes out right behind Dylan McKenna, who's a lap down. Stouffer is out in 10th, ahead of Garand by almost a second. Garand not alone now. How about a little, remember that group we were talking about that pitted early? Well, here they are, Jason Galvin, Pierre Nightingale.
Yeah, they had the momentum coming out early. It takes a while to get up to speed, so if you can get out and just get up to speed really quickly, you can make up a little bit of time, but you're right.
That's Connor Harrington. They're going around.
Our leader, Michael Goodman, is now in the pit lane. Justin Weaver is now the leader, but he has not pitted yet. So who is the real leader? Is that Chris Stouffer?
Well, Stouffer, right now, this is interesting. Stouffer has Garand pinned behind the car of Dylan McKenna. That's McKenna on the top side. Garand had a run. This is currently, I believe, for 5th position, although that's going to cycle out when these other guys do make their stop. Johnson, Ryman, Goodman, Weaver, they all need to come.
But you did make a good point that we have Chris Stouffer, Dan Garand, our regular leaders from earlier, but Jason Galvin and Pierre Daigle have brought themselves up to that pack. So we now have a group of 5 with Tyler Groff not too far behind, but it's now a group of 5 instead of a group of 3.
Pass for the lead. Groff was not able to hang with those guys who were racing in the same pit cycle as him. As Galvin pulled away and Daigle pulled away. Watch out for Connor Harrington now. That's the car way back in the back, well, the last one of the 5 there. Right up in front of him, that's Chris Stouffer. The car on the inside is Dylan McKenna. Hello, Dylan, what you doing in here? 32nd position. Out there racing in that multicolored car. Doing a nice job, Dylan, racing with the guys up front.
Yeah, Bart Workman as well. He's right up there. He's the first car lap down, but he's hanging with those leaders. But yeah, Dylan McKenna and Bart Workman will mix it up. But it's interesting to see how that pit strategy worked out. As we now, like I said, we had a group of 3. Now we have a group of 5 racing for the lead.
Everybody's made 2 stops. We are to lap 80. I don't know how to say this. I'm paid to report, so I will just mention we are to lap 80, and how can I put this without jinxing it? The pace has been fast, if you know what I mean.
It's been very fast, and just as I said, there's a group of 5 is now back to our original group of 3. Garand, Stouffer, Harrington, they have dropped Galvin and Pierre Daigle. They're running together, but they are getting dropped there. Good job, though, moving them up, though, into the top 5 through pit stop strategy. Once again, Andrew Kinsella, he was all the way up to 4th, and now he's come out and he's back in 7th position. He's got to do that work once again. Although one thing I want to point out is that, Andrew's been going the longest out of anybody else, so that means his fuel to take in has been the longest. So that's probably what's been hurting him. These other guys have been taking short stops, so they come out earlier, but they're going to pay the price, pay the piper, as you would say, as we come closer to the end.
A guy I think worth mentioning, I think is in this group we're looking at right now. It's the car number 062. That is Stefan Larkamp. He's in that rookie race. Right now he sits in 8th. His competition, Weaver, is way back, I think, at about like 18th last time I checked. We are in 19th right now. Yeah.
19th right now, yeah. So that's a big point swing. That's only, I believe they're only 15 points apart. So that's a good position to watch. And once again, with Adam Blocker dropping out, Dan Guerin.
Tony Schowen has had an issue. We're going to look at this one. We stay under green. There's Tony in the 31. We're watching it with you because I didn't see it on my screen, so we'll take a look. Does he get in the wall? Gets in the wall. Oh my goodness! How is he possibly going to save this? Sliding like a trombone on a toboggan. He gets it wound up. Right on board with Brandon Lipkin. Must be in Paris because he had an eye full of this one. Watch out! Whoa! There he goes.
There he goes. Yeah. Just hold it straight, hope for the best. Fortunately, he was all the way off the track surface, so no yellow flag. So we continue on here, green flag.
We are green indeed.
Christopher once again leading the pack. Dan Guerin in second. He's got Connor Harrington right behind him, kind of trying to just hang in there, save some fuel. Right behind them, they have Brian Greenlee, who is 2 laps down, but he's right there with that lead pack with Dylan McKenna and Bart Workman. All 3 of those guys a couple laps down.
Stay on board. If we were looking there, we're looking at a battle ahead. Now, this is the battle for 25th. That's Samuel Ryman up top. Going underneath them, that's Scott Johnson. That's a battle for position. And here comes Christopher.
Yeah, they got the leaders right behind them, so they're battling for their own race, and then the leaders are trying to get by them as well. So this is pretty interesting.
And because of the draft, I don't think Stouffer's going to be able to leave them behind as Ryman tucks right in behind the leader and says, all right, let's go. Harrington in second now. Guerin going to sit back a little bit and let things play out in front of him.
Yeah, knowing Dan Guerin, though, he doesn't like to sit back and wait. So he wants to get back up there and not let Christopher get that type of advantage. But these guys behind him are 3 wide. We got Bart Workman dragged the wall. Scott
Johnson,
sorry,
yep.
Dragged the wall up there.
That's what Guerin is watching out for. Right on board. This has got a little bit of a kiss on the wall.
Just a little bit of a drag, just a little washout on the arrow, but continues on.
I think all it was he wasn't happy with the camber in the car. He was just trying to do a little adjustment to the camber without having to come into pit lane. You know, we talked about... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, this racing through all the lap traffic has kind of strung these guys out a little bit because we had a pack of 3. Now we have basically a pack of 1, a pack of 1, a pack of 1.
And we have been green the whole way. Let's talk about a guy. It's not easy being Greenlee in 30th position. We just saw Scott Johnson put the car in the wall. Greenlee's got a little bit of momentum back there in 30th. He's in the tow. He's trying to catch up to the leaders. As Guerin now goes underneath Ryman, and finally those leaders negotiate everybody. Nope. That's Ryman on top. Look at Ryman fight back. Guerin finally gets the pass made.
Yeah, and all that battling has let Connor Harrington get by Dan Guerin, but Dan Guerin's kind of sucked up back underneath him, and they got to catch up to Christopher, though. They're not, I guess they have. They're not too far behind him, so we're basically a pack of 3. I want to go back to a pack of 1. If you're in a 1 person, is that considered a pack?
Yeah, it's like a family of 1. Yeah, that'll work. Army of 1. Let's talk to somebody who's having a pack man. Let's talk about 10th position. This is Scott Goodman, Stefan Larkamp in a battle. This is a fun little one going on. That's Kinsella, and look at Jacek in the blue car. Go dive underneath. We're looking there at those 5 cars. Leader of the pack, Kinsella, Yazik, Graf, our rookie, Larkamp. Then Michael Goodman looking on from 10th.
Yeah, Andrew Kinsella has worked every time. He's worked his way up to the top 4, pits, and then follows himself back into a heavy battle here for 6th through 10th. So we'll see if that plays out. He's had to take the most fuel out of anybody each time. Pierre Daigle and Jason Galvin still teamed up here for that 4th and 5th position. But they have Andrew Kinsella and Jason Galvin chasing them down pretty quickly, and Brian Yazik.
We look at Galvin in 4th and 5th with Daigle right in front of him. Your top 3 have found each other again. They found clear air. Stouffer, Harrington, and Guerin.
So looking at the pit stop numbers, so right now Dan Guerin's 2 laps shorter than Chris Stouffer, 3 laps shorter than Connor Harrington. We're coming up to lap 99 of 133, so everybody should be able to make it on one more stop no matter what. But if it does go green, I think Andrew Kinsella is going to have the advantage, as he's going to have to take the least amount of fuel out of anybody.
Well, if somebody's going to pit early, it's Tyler Graf, and he does. I want to quickly take you to 17th position, actually 15th position now, as by the time I looked at it, he's moved up too. This is Chris Lanini, having a great run. Sleepy Lanini. And that was Ron Hacker. Again, adjusting the camera on the camber on the right side of his car, putting it in the wall.
Yeah, he's having a rough night. Started on the front row, but moved back to 17th and hasn't been able to move up at all from there. So I don't know if he's got some problems with the car after hitting the wall or what.
Tyler Graf cycles out in 25th position. We're looking at the Moby Dickey car of Justin Weaver racing in 14th. Just ahead of what we talked about, that's Chris Lanini. I want to talk about Chris. Started 27th. Yes, that was with a qualifying time. Now in 13th. You do the math. That's 14 positions. Nice run from Sleepy. That's Jason Galvin coming out of the pits that they're just going around. There's Galvin. Thank you, Director. Nice job.
So next pit stop's going to be short, no matter who you are. So, 37, 38 laps we've seen. We only have about 30 laps to go, 31 laps to go, roughly. So this race is going by quickly with no yellow flags, knock on wood. And we're going to just see just a pure strategy at the end. Chris Stouffer and Dan Guerin still battling out, dragging Connor Harrington along. Andrew Kinsella has made his way back into 4th position where he was before the last pit stop, but he's a healthy 8 seconds back. So him and Brian Yazik look like they're playing leapfrog and trying to get themselves back up to that top group.
Right on board with the driver in 2nd position. He is sandwiched between Chris Stouffer and Connor Harrington. Stouffer and Guerin have raced many a mile next to each other. They have a lot of confidence in each other, and Guerin goes underneath. I think we're going to have ourselves a new leader, which would be a good indication of it's probably pit stop time. Guerin only cares to lead when he's about to come into pit lane.
Yeah, he's working lap 33 since his last stop, so he's going to try to drag it out here, but all these guys are really close on their fuel as far as their pit stops. And, a couple of seconds fuel will make the difference in how, if we go green, to separate this pack out.
This will, Kinsella have a catch coming in. This will be our final stop.
Yeah, Kinsella this time deciding to be the early pit stop taker, but he's gone longer than anybody else, so he's going to need less fuel. So we'll kind of keep an eye on him when he comes out of the pits relative to our leaders. He was about 8 seconds behind 3rd place Connor Harrington before that stop.
I want to go to 22nd position. He's right in the mix of our leaders right now. This is Joe Branch. Branch has fresh tires, and this will show you what a car with fresh tires will do. He's faster than the leaders, I think. Joe Branch is on the low side. The citrus-flavored car of Guerin on the top. The car coming out of the pits, that's Isaiah Dupree. Now Guerin ducks underneath. It's got to be pit stop time pretty soon.
Yep, he's slowing down to enter the pits. Christopher keeps going. And like I said, it would be interesting to see. Ooh, yeah, hot into the pits. Hopefully he got down, slowed down enough. Joe Branch has gone around Christopher to get one of his laps back.
But that just shows you of how fast they are on fresh rubber.
Looks like Christopher's slowing down. He's going to make the pit lane at the moment. Comes down onto the apron, locks it up under the speed. Now, where is Andrew Kinsella? Andrew's on the back stretch going into turn 3 at the moment. So we'll see where he comes out relative to Dan Guerin.
Guerin is out of the pit. I was rolling right now.
Yep, he's just getting up to speed. And Andrew Kinsella is nowhere to be seen.
Now, as Guerin comes around, it'd be fun to see in relationship to Chris Stouffer, right? Stouffer is on the track now, and here comes that fluorescent lime-colored yellow car of Guerin. Guerin is going to dive underneath, and he gets him, but not by much. Stouffer will be able to tuck back in. They race for 6th.
They're basically right where they were before they came into the pit lane.
The other one that would like to hang in there is Connor Harrington. Harrington's out of the pits. There goes Guerin. There goes Stouffer. Harrington's going to lose some ground. He's got to have to hustle. He wants to get back up with the 2 leaders.
Yeah, that was interesting. I would have thought that maybe staying out a little longer, taking less fuel would be better. But if you're fast in, fast out of the pit lane, you can make up a couple of seconds right there.
Now, this is interesting. Our leader, Michael Goodman, is being passed by Dan Guerin. Now, Dan Guerin is going to be our leader here as soon as Goodman comes in. Oh, my goodness. Goodman almost got clipped by Chris Stouffer. Holy smokes. Maybe an onboard from Stouffer. He missed him by maybe 6 inches as Goodman was coming in. Watch Goodman pit, and here goes Stouffer right around, and whoa, as he was squeezed in between. Whew.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go. It was 3 wide right there, so he was hoping that Michael Goodman stayed on the bottom because he had no way to miss him if he didn't.
Hey, 3 wide on screen. We're getting that sorted out. Meanwhile, everybody at Moby Dickey's, raise your glasses, tip your waitress, because Justin Weaver is out in front. It's going to be short-lived. He still needs to make a stop. He'll be coming in this time.
Yeah, but it's going to be a short stop because we only have about 18 laps to go. So this could help him out in his positioning on the track. As Steven Larkamp is running in 12th spot. That's his main rival in the Rookie of the Year standings.
There is Samuel Ryman. Okay. Well, we've passed the 20 to go, so I'm going to do it. I'm not nearly as good as Professor Lugnut is doing this one. I'm going to try. Start spinning that disco ball. Put on your platform shoes because it's time to boogie. We got 18 laps to go, and it's a 2-car battle between Chris Stouffer and Dan Guerin. Stouffer working underneath Krahula. And my goodness, don't give up on the rookie soup. Connor Harrington has found these guys.
Yeah, we're back to our original 3. It's been this way probably for 80% of the race. So we'll see what Connor Harrington. He's been hanging back quite a bit. He made a pass on Dan Guerin earlier when they were in traffic, but I don't think he's shown what he has. Dan Guerin and Chris Stouffer have been racing hard, but Connor Harrington has been hanging in there all race long.
They're coming up on Brian. It's not easy being Greenlee out there in the number 38. Brian, a veteran, knows how to race in this position. He keeps that car tucked down on the low side. Getting in the toe of Greenlee is Chris Stouffer. Now Stouffer moves around. Back underneath Greenlee again, get a little bit of a toe. Coming up, going to get that slingshot. Greenlee holds his line. Stouffer not able to get it done. One more time.
We got a little ways to go before we're going to see guys really battle it out.
I guess Stouffer said, you know what, Brian? Maybe you take the top line. Maybe that's the way to let us by. Now 1, 2. And I guess Greenlee got the message as he stays high and Harrington goes underneath. That yellow car, that fluorescent car back there, that is James Krahula. He's not in the mix. He's an 18th.
There goes Dan Guerin for the lead on the inner side, and in the kink on the front straightaway, he's going to take that lead, playing a little lap traffic to his benefit. So Dan Guerin, who was that?
Peter Edwards, who got out of the way. A nice job. Harrington losing a little touch now with the two in front.
And Christopher is going to try to take the lead, but Dan Guerin's got the outside lane. Connor Harrington doing a good job, just hanging in there. I'm not sure. Maybe that's all he's got, but he's been there all race long.
Honestly, we have not seen him make, oh my goodness, almost a bump draft from Garrett on the back of Stouffer. That was some nose to gearbox affection there.
Yeah, they might have hit there because I saw Chris Stouffer get a little bit squirrely on the straight line, so they might have come close. But that's brought Connor Harrington right up behind him. He's going to look to the outside here and try to make it 3 wide. Not going to happen, but he's right back in that group.
You know, Harrington may not have anything for these guys, which leads me to believe if he has an opportunity, he's going to take it if he gets a run like that. Now he falls back. I think he's just waiting for those guys to go side by side again and get another run and try to snake them both. 10 to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's the best move here is to be leading or not. I mean, these guys are going back and forth. We got Christopher going on the underside of Dan Guerin, but it looks like as you make that pass, you kind of wash up and lose that momentum. That leaves the door open for the next corner for the guy behind.
Trying to go now. They're side by side. Stouffer low. Guerin high. Stouffer trips up a little bit. Guerin with a run. That punches a huge hole for Harrington. Harrington, no, he does not capitalize. I thought he was going to duck underneath Stouffer. He does not.
Yeah, he did get a huge run there and got chopped off by Stouffer. But Dan Guerin leads. Chris Stouffer getting into the draft as they come into turn 1. He's not quite going to make a move. I don't know if he's playing chess with Dan Guerin right now, but this is going to be an exciting 3-way battle to the end.
Green, silver, and blue, the 3 cars as they come across. The green car is Dan Guerin. He gets credit with leading. Lap number 126. They come up on the back marker of George Anzaldo, the series organizer. George has nowhere to hide. Oh, Stouffer gets very loose, and he loses the position. Let's move the rookie Connor Harrington now up into second.
Connor Harrington saw his opportunity to take that position. They haven't left Stouffer there behind, though. He's right there. We still got a few laps. Now Connor Harrington's starting to get aggressive with Dan Guerin going into turn 1, but Dan holds that white line all the way around the bottom.
He's got a run, but he does not take it. Look at the run from Stouffer. Dives it in deeper than Confucius in a submarine. Out of 4. He gets the pass made, but the momentum is going to go to Harrington. He holds on to second with visions of the lead, but no.
Dan Guerin once again hugging that white line, trying to make Connor Harrington go around the outside. Connor Harrington got a run on the backstretch. He's not going to make a move, though. He's going to wait till the last minute, but we saw that last time as that opened the door for Chris Stouffer. Didn't work for him, but it might work next time.
Harrington lays back, hoping to get a run. Guerin leaves a little room to the inside. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, Dan Guerin takes that bottom line.
Oh, hit the wall, it's Stouffer.
Christopher dragged the wall, but no damage done. He stays in it, doesn't lose any space. Connor Harrington looking to make that move on the outside.
New
He
leader.
does have a chance here.
Connor Harrington. 3 to go, but he leaves the inside open.
Yeah, Connor Harrington took the lead briefly, but left the door open. Connor Harrington left it open for Dan Guerin, who's a bottom feeder out here. He loves that bottom. Here comes Christopher taking the bottom from Dan Guerin.
They come around with 2 to go. Harrington trapped with nowhere to put the car, right on the gearbox of Guerin. Somehow, Christopher, after putting the car in the wall, still has some pace left. Harrington's got to watch his mirror because here comes Stouffer. Guerin can't cover all the lines. Guerin takes his half out of the middle. With the momentum up top, it's the rookie Connor Harrington. He's made that pass before. He makes it work again. 1 to go. Is he going to leave the inside open? He's going to leave the outside open. He leaves the inside open for Guerin. Guerin takes it in deep. They are wide. Out of 2. The momentum will go to the car on the outside. That's Harrington. They are side by side. Cialis bathtubs down into corner number 3. Guerin has the shorter way. He takes it down low, but watch the momentum coming from the top. Harrington with a run at the line. It is going to be Guerin. Harrington gets second. Christopher has to settle for the popcorn position in third. We'll look at it from above.
Wow, that was quite a finish. Connor Harrington losing out by 1/17,000th of a second. And here we come, coming out of 4. Dan Guerin knows he's going to take that short cut through the warm-up lane, and it's all about distance traveled at this point. And there we go. You can see the difference, 17,000ths of a second. So what a great race. Connor Harrington stalked him the whole race, decided to make his move, and really made Dan Guerin work for it.
The shorter way beat the momentum on the top side as Dan Guerin closes the gap to the lead. The racing is over here in Kansas, but our broadcast is far from done. What we're going to do right now is take a short break, but don't worry. We will be back for the Plasma Track post-race Victory Lane post-race show, where we'll run down the entire order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
streaming cyberspace into your place via the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing channel and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. Hey, listen, Christmas is coming. It's time for shopping. I'm seeing the Christmas commercials on TV. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the Christmas website for you? Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. Heck, they might be able to do a Christmas tree for you. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But I'm warning you, one visit, and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your better half that you need a Plasma Tracks hanging in your home. See all the Plasma-Tracks.com at Plasma-Tracks.com. Use this promo code LSR2018 to get 25% off your order. And now I'm going to give you 100% of the finishing order of the GSRC Big Joe Show Spectacular, and it was spectacular indeed, as it was Dandy Dan Guerin, maybe the class of the field, but he was challenged. He comes home 17 1,000ths of a second, 100th? Yeah, 17 100ths of a second faster than Connor Harrington. Chris Stouffer comes home in third. Soup always has trouble with those decimal places. Brian Yazek and Andrew Kinsella round out your top five. A very quiet run from Pierre Nightingale, Michael Goodman in seventh. 8th, 9th, and 10th, well, it's the Von Hansen Speed Machine. They come home in 8th. Tyler Graff does what he does, gets a top 10 finish. Stefan Larkamp, our top rookie. That's going to be good news for that race. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, coming in 11th is Isaiah Dupree, Joe Branch coming home in 12th, started 12th, finishing 12th. Jason Galvin is finishing 13th. Chris Lanini having a good run from 27th to 14th. Brandon Limkeman, unfortunately, ran up lead. He had the beginning parts of the race, started third, but ended up 15th. Justin Weaver, our Rookie of the Year leader, not so great, but not too bad, 28th to 16th. Then we have James Krahula, first car lap down, 17th. George Anzaldo, 18th. Big Joe, 19th. And Matthew Mercer in 20th.
Heading blackjack, it's Ron Hacker. He's going to be just ahead of Scott Johnson in the double duck spot. Ed King, Tutwiler, Paul Jenkins come home next. Samuel Ryman gets the quarter-century mark ahead of Mark Cohn, Bart Workman, Jack Bogan. 29th is Robert Bluen, and in 30th, it was Dylan McKenna. Richie?
Yeah, Brian Greenlee's going to come in 31st spot. Peter Edwins, 32nd. Scott Bolster, 33rd. Tony Schoen with a little bit of an issue coming home 34th. Adam Blocker, man, our points leader. Technical issues, coming home 35th position. Drop week for him, and coming home on the end of the field, unfortunately, Dustin Wardlow had a little issue, coming home 36th position.
Okay, I have the honor of talking to the hottest driver in the Lionheart IndyCar Series of late, and that is Dandy Dan Guerin. He continues to close the gap on the points leader. Nice job today, Dan. They were coming on all sides, but you were able to hold them off.
What an incredible race that was. Oh my, hats off to both Chris and to Connor. Those guys raced me so hard. I tried racing as clean as possible too. Hats off to my teammates also, freaking starting right up front there, right with me, just all running right up front. Oh, I can't be happier about that. Just a freaking awesome night right there.
Now, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong about this one, but I think I got you figured out. During the mid part of the race, you're in a battle for first, second, or third. You don't necessarily need to lead. But whenever I see you move to the lead, I know that his pit stop's tied in about like 2 or 3 laps. Is that actually going on in your brain, or is that this coincidence? You always seem to be up front when it's time to pit.
That's kind of a coincidence, actually.
Okay.
Because after the first set of stops there, I just got past Chris, and like 2 or 3 laps later, I pit, and then again I got past him again for the next stops, and same thing. So I don't know what it was about that. I'd get past him, then I have to pit. So
pit stops went well. You seem to cycle out with the same guys almost every time. Let's talk big picture now. We're getting close to the end. I don't want to jinx you, but you've been hot of late, and you continue to close the gap. I'm telling you, buddy, there is a shot with double points at Fontana. You can steal this thing.
I'm still mathematically in it, yes. I have to have another good run, though, at the next 3 tracks. got a road course coming up there, Road America. That's one of Blocker's favorite tracks. Same with Kinsella. And it's going to be a tough one. I'll put my laps in, try to do it the best I can. I just kind of get the most bonus points as I can, too.
Yeah.
So if I can lead a lap here or there, then all the closer it'll be come down to the last race. So long as I can keep this momentum going, I'll be so happy.
Well, congratulations on getting the win, and congratulations to putting on a good show and finishing under green. Well done.
Yep, thanks a lot. Just want to give a shout out to my teammates. Awesome job for you guys tonight. My sponsors, Lock Precision, Midwest Simulations, and SimRacers for Mental Health. I hope you guys enjoyed that little show.
There you have it. Dandy Dan Guerin gets another win. You saw how many he had when we did the profile. Hey, how about that? Our profile driver isn't jinxed as we actually get a winner. That's never happened before. All right, now Richie gets to talk to the guy who came home in second.
Oh, man, Connor Harrington, great job there. Just missed out at the end. You were able to hang with those top three, and I figured you were just kind of stalking them until it was time to move.
Yeah, I think in reality that was probably the strategy for tonight. Considering didn't get the best qualifying run. I mean, fourth is okay, but I was hoping to lead him to the green. So kind of just running behind and really just trying to save some fuel and have the shortest last stop possible. And it kind of worked out.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've seen that we've gone green the whole way. So those pit stops became very important as far as not making a mistake. And the three of you kind of stuck together. And I know Andrew kind of snuck up there a couple times, but he couldn't stay with you guys on the pit stop. But yeah, really good job. And, kind of let us know, like, when did you decide to make that move and try to take the lead from Dan?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't actually watched the replay. I think if I watch it, I'll become physically sick to only lose by like 1/thousandth of a second. Really, it was just I just wanted to get to the top. The tires for everybody they were gone. It was hot out, and so if you could get to the outside and pinch them down at the bottom, you could just drive off the corner and get by them. And it worked for I think like 2 laps, and then Dan just made a really, really good last corner on really old tires. So I got to give him all the props for that.
Yeah, I mean, Dan likes to hug that white line. He kind of stuffed it in there, but and probably what helped him most is he able to jump onto that apron and just take the short distance, and that might have been the difference.
Yeah, in reality, I really didn't even see him. I guess we were just so even. He was right in my blind spot, and I didn't want to be the guy to come down across them, and we end up all in the trash bin instead of across the line going nose forward. But it was a great race.
No, yeah, great. It was awesome to call and great to watch. So nicely done, and just continue on those great finishes, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Cheers, guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Connor Harrington finally getting the race result he deserves. Now I get to talk to the guy, the final man on the podium, Chris Stouffer. He qualified 11th, didn't think he was going to have much of a race. All of a sudden, he finds himself up front. And then, Chris, you raced with Harrington and Guerin for the last half of the race.
Yeah, it was it went green. I was hoping those pit cycles I might be able to get a little bit of time on them because I was leading when those guys pit, but we came right back out all together. There's a lot of lap traffic tonight. It seemed like that's what we're really contending with more than anything was all that lap traffic.
Yeah, you did get yourself about maybe a second and a half lead after one pit stop, but they were able to run you down. Let's get to the end. I thought you were done. You put the car in the wall. Okay, it's a 2-car race now between Guerin and Harrington. But no, you hung right in there. I guess the car felt okay after glancing it up.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I was, after being up front and battling for the lead the whole race, I really wanted to get back up there. And, I got into the wall a little bit. Car drove fine. I was definitely going to keep my foot in it and see what happened, especially with only a few laps to go. I'm not going to give up that position there, and especially with this season I've had. I think this is honestly like the 6th or 7th race I've actually finished this season after 18, 19 races. So, to say the least, it hasn't been a good season overall. So, I wasn't going to give anything up easily. That's for sure.
When you were back in third, did you think there's a chance maybe those guys could punch a big enough hole that you might be able to snake them both?
Well, on those worn tires at that point, I knew it was going to be very difficult. I tried to go down low a couple times and just was not able to make it stick with Dan being up high and the draft there for Connor. I mean, there's no way that I could get enough of a run to even get into second to, battle for the lead. So it just played out the way it did.
Well, congratulations on the third, and as commentators, let me thank you for letting this thing finish under green because we get to call it an exciting ending. So good job. We'll see you down the road.
Yeah, hopefully.
Chris Stouffer. He gets third. He was fast. I think he could have really wanted a little bit more on that. We're going to wrap up here. Rich is going to talk to the man who sponsored this rig, Big Joe Hassard. I guess I'm going to take this one. Hey, Big Joe.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
First of all, on behalf of GSRC, thanks for including us in the title of this event. You picked yourself a good one to sponsor, baby. It was a good one.
Yeah, I just wish I could have been a more part of it. I appreciate you guys being a part of your broadcast for the last 4 years. Since the start of Lionheart, I just appreciate the partnership we've had and everything we've been able to do. But I thought I was running good, then got a speeding penalty. Dropped me all the way back to the end of the lead lap pretty much. And didn't get a caution. Surprise. But yeah, I guess it would have been, wish I could have made it more interesting. It was kind of some what ifs. I hit the apron in qualifying and that kind of set me back in the field. And I'm glad that Dan was able to get a win and glad that we were able to put on a good show.
You were competitive early on, racing in the pack in sight of the leaders, but again, you get yourself a speeding penalty on a race that doesn't go yellow. You got the kiss of death.
Yeah, shot myself in the foot. It's been a rough second half of the year, starting to drop in the points a little bit, but hopefully we can finish strong and get some good momentum going for next year.
Going into season 7. Absolutely. Well, congratulations. Always fun to watch you race, and thanks for putting this thing on, and we'll see you down the road.
Sounds good. Thanks, Soup.
Big Joe Hassard, the sponsor of the Big Joe Show Spectacular. And my goodness, how often does a race live up to its hype? And it was indeed spectacular. Now, let's not blow it by ruining the closing segment here. So I'm just going to read them as they are here. First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. We thank them. Richie?
Yeah, we'd like to thank Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver to car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com and use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your next order.
HPP is awarding a Formula Racing wheel valued at just under $1,500 to the season champion. It has SLI Pro display, 12-position rotaries for display, momentary push buttons, two-way toggle switches, rotary encoders, and tactile feedback, integrated paddle shifters. Oh my goodness. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. Visit hppsimulations.com to check out all of their products. HPP, designed to go fast, built to last.
To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to the lionheartseries.com, click on 2018 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo.
And on screen right now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC broadcast. Well, that comes courtesy of Eric Echolm and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them.
The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 1 week for the Vaughn Hanson's 200 Gateway Motorsports Park Oval. GSRC via the iRacing Esports Network will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of all future broadcasts, you can find it all at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And if you're not already a GSRC YouTube channel subscriber, you can become one by simply visiting our YouTube channel and hitting that subscribe button.
Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Richie, Amjad, Dougie, and of course Professor Lugnuts, I'd like to thank all of you for watching this iRacing Esports Network, and we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm to the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.